Hi, my name is Mark Goodcamp from the Refugee Action Coalition in Sydney. Thanks for inviting me here today. I'd like to acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, elders past and present. Congratulations again on holding the Latin American Social Forum. Yes, the refugee issue is obviously a very important one to remember on World Human Rights Day on the 10th of December every year, and in fact every day of the year. It's been a very, very busy year for the refugee movement, and unfortunately we saw last weekend at the ALP conference, we saw Chris Bowen and Julie Gillard narrowly get their way and enshrine offshore processing into the ALP platform, whereas previously it had not been there. So we've got a lot of work to do, both in terms of defeating offshore processing, ending mandatory detention, which is still causing so much suicide and self-harm. Inside the detention centres, there's still about 5,000 people overall in detention, including hundreds of kids still. They're building new detention centres, and also, you know, we've got to fight them on a variety of other fronts as well, like the fact that ASIO security clearances are being used to keep people in detention who've got refugee status already. So last weekend as well, during the ALP conference, the refugee movement met nationally, and we decided a whole lot of plans for next year. We're planning to get thousands of petitions, signatures to stop deportations. The government is starting to deport people back to Afghanistan and Sri Lanka, even though Foreign Affairs says it's not safe for Australian tourists to go to those places. They're trying to send so-called failed asylum seekers back. So I'll leave a blank one of these here. But also next year, in the tradition of demonstrations at Easter, we are going to be having a Easter protest at the detention centres in Darwin. Darwin is now becoming the national capital for detention. And there'll be small actions as well, probably in Melbourne and Sydney and various other cities at detention centres at Easter. We're also gearing up for a very large protest around World Refugee Day. Next year is going to be the 20th anniversary of the introduction of mandatory detention. So we have got a lot of work on our plate. We're going to continue our work in the broader community with forums and education and stalls, and also deepen our connection with the trade unions, and continue to encourage Labour for Refugees to speak out inside the Labour Party. So yeah, I guess thanks again for having me here today. Look forward to collaboration on the variety of social struggles and political struggles that we are all involved in, you know, because obviously all of our struggles have a connection in some way or another, and we all have a common enemy, enemigo en común. Gracias.